There is a ton of beef in Catalonia right now, and it's not just because they banned bullfighting. Right now, the triangular northeast of the Iberian Peninsula can't get out of the Kingdom of Spain or the news. But what are the reasons for having a Catalan state? Has there ever been one before? And what's the history of Catalonia? I plan to explain that and more in this short video. The idea of a Catalonian people started around the 11th century with the county of Barcelona, a collection of small kingdoms around modern-day Catalonia that was set up in the first couple of centuries of the Reconquista as a buffer state for the Moors, who ruled Spain at the time, to give them a bit of space since
nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Catalonia then enjoyed a golden era in the 13th and 14th century, which led to a wealthy merchant class that had some political power. In this period, the region's language Catalan, a sort of mixture of French and Spanish, replaced Latin. Some say it is here that the Catalan national identity was born, but it's important to point out our current ideas of nationalism just didn't really exist at the time, so this form of nationalism would differ very much from what we see today. The marriage of Ferdinand V and Isabella I of Castile integrated Catalonia into the Spanish kingdom. While initially Catalonia was relatively independent, over time it became more and more integrated into the Spanish kingdom, and by the 17th century Catalonia had lost almost all its past autonomy. That was until the 19th century arrived to the party with romanticism, industrialisation, bikes and a renewed sense of Catalan nationalism. At first the wealthy Catalonians wished to control Spain with their superior and more industrialised economy, but when it seemed they were making very little leeway they said, well, screw it, we're leaving then, and sought independence or at least more autonomy. While anti-Catalan measures were put in place under Spanish dictator Miguel Primo de Rivera in the 1920s, following the formation of the Second Spanish Republic in 1931, Catalonia gained its own autonomous government and everything was fun and siestas. But it didn't last for long as in rolled the late 30s and it was fascism time. Following the victory of Franco in the Spanish Civil War, harsh restrictions were put on Catalonia, including the banning of Catalan in official use. This led to a huge decrease in the percent of the population who could speak Catalan and damaged the Catalonian identity. After Franco died in 1975, Catalonia was given back some of its right to autonomy. However, it was not till in 2010 that the independence movement really got going. This was after a referendum voted for by the Catalan people in 2006 that would have given Catalonia more autonomy was ruled unconstitutional by the Spanish courts and struck down. This was not taken particularly well and soon talk changed from calls for autonomy to calls for independence. Over the last 10 years, several referendums have been held in Catalonia on the matter. While each came out with a pro-independence result, each had been banned by the Spanish government and so suffered from low turnouts, with many anti-independence groups boycotting the referendum. This leads us to the events of October this year. Following a referendum with similarly low turnouts to the last few, the Catalonian government declared independence, which was immediately undeclared by the Spanish government. The Madrid government then dissolved the Catalonian parliament and called new elections in December, even going so far as to call for the arrest of Catalonia's recently sacked leader Puigdemont, who as of 5 minutes ago handed himself in to the Belgians. To some, especially given the violent reaction of the Spanish government, Catalonia is a plucky underdog fighting for its right to self-determination. However, the calls for independence aren't purely cultural or based on Catalonia's generally more left-wing politics. Catalonia is one of the richest areas of Spain and pays far more into the national budget than it gets out. Some say this has given Catalonia a superiority complex, with some Catalonians accusing Spaniards of being feckless, paella-eating scroungers, but without the paella bit. There's also the issue, as there always seems to be nowadays, of Europe. Catalonia relies on Europe for trade, and so leaving Spain would risk having to enter talks to rejoin the EU, which could take years. So far, the Catalonian Republic has no international recognition, with even the British government condemning this reckless move to leave an old and a well-established union for nationalistic reasons, because that would be immensely stupid. But with pressure building up on the Spanish government and a seemingly growing will for independence in Catalonia, only time will tell if Europe will soon be getting a new Iberian member. Thanks for watching, this was the Badger Politics Show, and subscribe for more.